Hello and welcome to classes of Preet. Today we are going to study economics, chapter 1, demand. So let's start. Demand and determinants of demand. Demand for any commodity refers to the quantities of that commodity which consumers are willing and able to purchase at different prices during a given period of time. In this definition, there are a number of observations. First, desire. In the common language, desire is also called as demand. But in economics, demand is not the same thing as desire. Desire refers to the idea of having something, but demand refers to both the desire to have a commodity and the ability to fulfill this desire. For example, if I think of owning a car, it is my desire, but this desire for a car will turn into demand only when I have an adequate amount of money to purchase the car and when I am willing to spend that money to purchase it. Second point, demand in economics is always at a price. It makes no sense if it is not expressed in relation to a particular price. For example, we may be willing to buy a shirt if it is available at rupees 500, but we may not buy it at all if it is priced at rupees 800. Therefore, demand is always expressed in relation to a particular price. Third, demand is always expressed with reference to a particular time period. Demand is a flow concept. What is flow? Flow is any variable which is expressed per unit of time. Hence, any statement about demand for a commodity will mention three things. First, the quantity to be purchased. Second, the price at which the quantity is purchased. And the third, the time period over which the commodity is purchased. Now next, types of demand. First point, individual demand and market demand. The quantities of a commodity that an individual consumer is willing to purchase at various prices during a given period of time is known as individual demand. For example, the quantity of milk purchased per day by our mother is individual demand for milk. The total quantities of a commodity that all the households are willing to buy at various prices during a given period of time is called market demand. For example, total quantity of milk which all the buyers are willing to buy at a given period is the market demand for milk. Second point, joint demand. The demand for two or more goods which are used jointly or demanded together are known as joint demand. For example, car and petrol, butter and bread, etc. Derived demand. The demand for a commodity that arises because of the demand for some other commodity is called derived demand. For example, demand for steel, bricks, cement, stones, wood, etc. is a derived demand which arises because of the demand for houses and other buildings. Last point, composite demand. Composite demand are the demand for goods that have multiple uses. For example, the demand for steel arises as various uses of steel, such as use of steel in making utensils, room coolers, cars, and so on. Now, determinants of demand. So first, determinants of individual demand. So first point, price of the commodity. The most important determinant of a demand for a commodity is the price of the commodity itself. There is an inverse relationship between the price of the commodity and the quantity demanded. It means that the price and the quantity demanded move in the opposite directions. The lower the price of the commodity, the larger is the quantity demanded, and higher the price, the lesser is the quantity demanded. You must have observed your mother purchasing a larger quantity of vegetables at the price of the vegetable falls. So next point, income of the consumer. There is a direct relationship between the income of the consumer and his demand for a commodity. That is, an increase in income will lead to an increase in demand for a commodity. However, this may not always be the case. While discussing the relationship between the income of the consumer and demand for a commodity, we may distinguish between three types of goods commodities. So it has three sub-points. First, normal goods. Those goods the demand for which increases with increase in income of the consumer and decreases with the fall in income. For example, a consumer increases his demand for clothes, furniture, refrigerators as luxury goods when his income increases. Second, inferior goods. Those goods the demand for which falls as income of the consumer increases. For example, the demand for an inferior good like maize may decrease when consumers' income increases beyond a particular level, because the consumer may substitute it by a superior food like wheat or rice, as he can afford now to purchase the superior cereal. Third point, inexpensive necessities of life. Those goods the demand for which increases with the increase in income up to a certain level, and therefore it remains constant. For example, the quantity of salt purchased does not increase with our income increases. Next, third point, consumers' taste and preferences. The amount of a commodity purchased depends on the taste and preferences of the consumer as well. Taste and preferences depend on social customs, habits of the people, fashion, the general lifestyle of the people, advertisement, new inventions, etc. As a result, demand for different goods changes. For example, a consumer taste and preferences may change because of the change in fashion. Next, prices of the related goods. The demand for a commodity depends not only on its own price but also on the prices of related goods. If a change in the price of one particular good affects the demand for another good, we say that these two goods are related. So it is classified into two categories. First, substitute goods. Those goods which satisfy the same type of demand and hence can be used with ease in place of one another, such as tea and coffee. If the price of coffee increases while the price of tea remains same, many consumers are likely to increase the demand for tea and reduce the demand for coffee. Second point, complementary goods. Complementary goods, those goods which are complementary to one another in the sense that they are used jointly or together. For example, an increase in the price of petrol not only causes a decrease in the demand for petrol but also leads to a decrease in the demand for cars. So, car and petrol. Next point, consumers' expectations. Consumer expectation about such thing as future prices, income and availability of goods, etc. play an important role in determining the demand for goods in the current period, because many goods can be stored or their consumption can be postponed. If people expect a rise in the price of a product in the future, they would demand a greater amount of that product today with a view to avoid purchasing it at higher price in the future. Similarly, if people expect an increase in the income in the future, they will buy more commodities today in anticipation of rise in their income. Next, consumer credit facilities. If credit facilities from the sellers of the commodity, banks, etc. are available, consumers would be tempted to purchase certain goods they could not have purchased otherwise. Credit facilities mostly affect the demand for expensive durable goods such as car, residential houses, etc. For example, a number of commercial banks in India provide car loans at low rates of interest. As a result, the demand for cars have increased because people are motivated to finance the purchase of cars through borrowing from banks. Next, demonstration effect. Demonstration effect plays an important role in affecting the demand for a commodity. Demonstration effect refers to the tendency of a person to emulate the consumption style of other persons like his friends, his neighbors, etc. Now, determinants of market demand. So first point, size and consumption of population. Market demand for a commodity depends on the size and consumption of population in an economy. An increase in the size of population increases the demand for a commodity. This is because an increase in population leads to an increase in the number of buyers in the market. Composition of population also affects the demand for a commodity. The types of goods demanded by different peoples are different. For example, if the number of teenagers in the population of a country increases, the demand for those goods that the teenagers tend to buy, such as jeans, etc., will increase. Second, distribution of income. Distribution of income in a country affects the demand for goods. If distribution of income in a country is unequal, rich people will have larger purchasing power with them. Therefore, there will be a larger demand for those goods which are consumed by the rich people. If the income is evenly distributed, there will be less demand for luxury goods and more demand for essential goods like clothes, scooters, etc. Third, climatic factors. Demand for different goods depends on the climatic factors because different goods are needed for different climates. For instance, the demand for ice, fans, air conditioners, cold drinks, etc. increases in summer. Likewise, in winter, the demand for heaters, blowers, hot drinks, woolen clothes, etc. increases. Next, government policy. Economic policy of the government also influences the demand for commodities. If the government imposes tax on various commodities in the form of excise duties, GST, etc., the prices of these commodities will increase. As a result, demand for these commodities will fall. But on the other hand, if the government incurs more expenditure on construction of roads, bridges, in setting up industries, etc., the demand for cement, iron, and goods needed for these purposes will increase. So next we will continue in the next video. Thanks for watching.